Hey folks, this is Rhykker, and we just got our day one drop of information for Diablo 4 at Gamescom. It was just teasers. I'm expecting a lot more details tomorrow, but Mercenaries, new game modes, and a hint at confirmation of the World of Warcraft crossover event that I've been speculating about. So they showed a video introducing Mercenaries. Altogether, there appear to be 4 of them. They're collectively called the Pale Hand, and one appears to be some kind of a Demon Hunter Ranger type character, just not as edgy as a Demon Hunter. One appears to be a shield bearer. He's clearly going to be a very defensive kind of guy to help keep you alive. One is an old crone barbarian lady, and from past data mines, one I presume is going to be called the Cursed Child, or maybe that's a working name, but it's some sort of a monstrous hybrid, and he can transform into some kind of a demon, and it would appear, depending on maybe some skill selection or something, maybe it's our choice, maybe it's his, he can adopt different colors when he's in demon form. Now, mercenaries are people that we'll be able to, quote, hire to fight alongside of us, whatever that may mean. Whether it's going to be literally hiring as in we have to pay them in some way, or whether it's just like Diablo 2 where you pay once and you get the mercenary, or it's just a roleplay thing and we're not actually exchanging any money. Again, I'm expecting more details to come tomorrow, but Mercenaries and all features we're discussing today are coming with Vessel of Hatred, the expansion, which launches on October 8th. We also know that at Gamescom, people are going to get a chance to check out the Spiritborn. That's the new class. Myself and other content creators got to try this out about a month ago at Blizzard headquarters. I'm assuming it's going to be the same demo that people are going to be able to play publicly. Do be sure to check out my thoughts on the Spiritborn. I also got to record my own gameplay footage. You can check all that out. Now, outside of that, they were talking about Vessel of Hatred introducing new ways to play and grow in power. Grow in power being mercenaries, and new ways to play, they specifically named the Kurast Undercity, which is apparently meant to be a multi-layer dungeon. I know there's been some clamor for multi-layer dungeons coming to D4, and it's apparently supposed to give you some control over the challenge and rewards. Now, what that means exactly is to be seen. Theoretically, I mean, the Infernal Hordes are arguably something in which you can choose the challenge and reward. At the end, you have the different rewards that you can select from, and throughout it, you can pick different boons or banes to give different degrees of challenge. I do love the Infernal Hordes, but I hope that for this thing it's going to be something different. And about the multi-layer nature of the dungeon, technically in Diablo 4, you do go through different dungeon layers. Sometimes when you're in a dungeon, you'll sometimes go down like a ladder or something. But I know that there is some degree of nostalgia and desire for like those old school, like, you know, Diablo 1 was that 16-layer dungeon. You just keep going down and down and down. And, you know, in the older games, you would hit loading screens when you would go down. In Diablo 4, at least with the way the dungeons are set up now, you don't hit a loading screen again. It's just like a kind of a ladder down. But I think for some people, part of the experience is lost of feeling like you're really descending. It still kind of just feels like a more horizontal navigation as opposed to vertical. So I do wonder if this is going to more accurately reflect the feeling of going deeper and deeper and deeper, and how deep we can go as well. Then outside of that, they mentioned the Dark Citadel, the new co-op PvE dungeon. And it's supposed to, quote, challenge everything we know about combat in Diablo, and it's going to include a gauntlet of multiplayer puzzles and mechanics. Now, this is a little bit more detail than we already knew about these co-op dungeons, and again, Blizzard has never described Diablo 4 as an MMO, even though in a lot of ways it is an MMO. They are very specifically not using the term raid here, but how would you describe a raid other than a co-op dungeon with multiplayer mechanics and puzzles? Now, it could be about the scope, right? Maybe these are just 4-player dungeons, and a raid, you know, we generally think of as being much, much larger. But it does seem, at least in spirit, these seem to be raids, or this one dungeon, at least for now, seems to be some kind of a raid mechanic in Diablo 4. Again, more details are to come. I know some people are a little split on, I want to be able to solo everything. And so hopefully whatever this is, it is soloable in some way or another. And while I'm not big into MMOs, I've never really done raids. I've spoken to people who do raids, and it sounds like the most interesting raids are dungeons in which the difficulty doesn't just scale up because of more people, and therefore one person can just solo everything if they're strong enough, but rather having interesting mechanics and challenges and puzzles and whatever you call it that require multiple people to act either simultaneously or be doing different things in different parts of the map. And so my idea of how one could incorporate a raid-like mechanic in a game like Diablo where you want to have the option to do it solo would be, let's say you have this dungeon, and if you have a full party of 4, you have 4 different mechanics in that dungeon to interact with, whereas if you only go in with 1, then one of those 4 is randomly selected every time. It's random, you know, a little bit of replay value there. And so, you know, if you're 2 people, then 2 of them get selected, so that it's not that, oh, if I'm doing this solo, well, it's going to take me 4 times longer because I got to go do this mechanic and then that mechanic and then the other and the other. Just to keep a bit more parity between group and solo play, keep solo players, you know, happy, but also be able to give the full-blown experience in a party of 4. I don't expect this to be incorporated into the game, but I do look forward to seeing more about what this Dark Citadel is going to be. Again, hopefully tomorrow we're going to get details on all 3 of those things: Mercenaries, Dark Citadel, and the Kurast Undercity. But I turn the question to you folks. What are you expecting? Now's the time to make your predictions, because probably tomorrow we're getting our answers. I already love the Spiritborn. It's probably my main class in Season 6 and possibly the foreseeable future. I'm even more hyped now about the Mercenaries. I'm looking forward to these other endgame activities as well. Then Blizzard also released a blog post where they gave a tiny amount more details. They say that mercenaries are your companions in battle who grow in strength and can be customized to support your playstyle. Each mercenary is unique in the role they serve, so no matter your class or build, you'll find a mercenary that's right for you. That seems to suggest that you can only select one mercenary, as has been the case in Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. They also gave more details on the Kurast Undercity, calling it an intense new multi-stage time attack dungeon that gives you control over the challenge as well as the loot you find. And that does make it sound more like Infernal Hordes, but we'll have to see. We're going to learn more at the Xbox Showcase tomorrow morning, which starts at 6 a.m. Pacific. Then lastly, the hint that we got at the crossover event. The Blizzard section of the Gamescom announcement began with Blizzard President Johanna Faries coming out and talking about World of Warcraft and how this is a big year for WoW, big celebration, 30-year anniversary of Warcraft, not of WoW specifically. She was talking about how there's going to be tons of ways to celebrate this, lots of in-game events starting in October, in-game rewards to earn, and she mentioned there will be creative ways to celebrate and that other teams are also in on things. And as a preview, the Overwatch team in September is releasing a Sylvanas skin for Widowmaker, but that seems to be just one small piece of a bigger puzzle. As a reminder, Overwatch 2 just released their Season 12 trailer, which ended with a view of Frostmourne from Warcraft, the sword, and in weeks prior I mentioned that in the Season 5 PTR for Diablo 4, WoW had data mined a model of Frostmourne, which is not the same model which was added as a mount trophy several months ago, which is just the half sword. We got a new full sword model of Frostmourne that doesn't seem to be attached to anything yet. So is this going to be some kind of new in-game item? Is there going to be an event? Because in Diablo Immortal, about a month or 2 ago, we had an in-game event where you can earn Frostmourne as a cosmetic, and it's my theory that there is going to be some WoW crossover event where we can earn Frostmourne cosmetic transmog in Diablo 4. So this was just a little bit more of a teaser from Johanna Faries that yes, maybe there is going to be something there. But that's it for the quick update. Thanks for watching, folks. Special thanks to my supporters. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders for more Diablo content.